Call the meeting to order.
Yeah.
We have Mary, Susan, Beth, and Paul present, so we have a quorum. And Tamara is here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about last month, guys. My daughter got sick and, I can't put this above mother duties, unfortunately.
No problem at all. No problem
Absolutely.
at all. We seem to be able to move right along. So on our agenda, we have affordable housing development site, general updates, subcommittee update, which would be Tamara, and then update on committee members for the select board. And then confirming our next meeting would be May 14th. Is May 14th good for everyone?
I think so.
I will be out of town. I'll be in California, but if everybody else can make it, then
Yeah,
that's
I think we need 4 for a quorum. So,
When are you back?
I'll be back on the 15th.
okay,
The
we can make,
night
we
of
can make
the-
we can do the 21st, which is the week after that.
Okay.
So why don't we do that? We'll do May 21st, Cassandra. Hopefully that's good.
Yeah, it's good for me.
So we'll do May 21st.
Does that
Right.
work for you, Cassandra? Is that okay?
Yeah, she's probably on
Okay.
another call.
Didn't
Awesome.
know if that works for her.
Okay. So as far as affordable housing development site, general updates, I think during our last meeting, I mentioned that 1 Pleasant Street, the planning board allowed them to go to condominiums. So we're only going to be able to count 4 units, not 14. There was an opportunity where some folks were going to try and get that reversed, but I don't know what the process is and how successful it will be. There is another site that has come back up onto the radar, and that is the gas station, 55 South Main.
Okay.
So they're looking at 12 units. We don't know if it's condos or apartments. We don't know who the new owners are. And I did speak to some folks about that because my understanding is that whoever purchased the property purchased the approval that was given to the property by the planning board. And just to refresh everyone's mind, they were going to build those units, 12 units. They had not determined if they were apartments or condos. But either way, they opted to do off-site housing. So it looked like they were going to go to
Hey,
condos.
Paul, does that mean even if it was apartments, they were going to do off-site housing?
I
I
don't know how.
didn't think that was allowed.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought it was only for condominiums, but I don't
That's
know.
what I
I don't check with the planning board on that. But they opted for off-site, which led us to believe it was going to be condos. So we don't know what the new property owners are going to do.
So who told you that it got sold and all that? How'd you hear that?
It was at the sewer meeting. So
Yeah. I thought that with our bylaws, that if it was apartments, they had to be on site. I don't know.
Yeah.
I suppose that's something we could find out from the planning board. If we had a planning board member.
we'll reach out to him. I did speak to a planning board member about it. And whoever the new owners are have not come part of planning so far that I'm aware of. They may or may have a meeting set up. I don't know. So we just heard through the sewer meeting that was.
Were they coming to sewer? Or it's just people were talking about this project's coming back up.
Yeah, so the property is on sewer, but because it's a change of use, they would have to file a new application. And, right now it's approved for one restroom, you know, so,
Doesn't
so.
quite
now-
work if you have 12 units.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, so that's how that works. And it gets quite expensive too. Usually 6 figures when it's that size.
Yeah.
So, but there's been issues with that culvert that's right there. There was a water main break in front of that spot about a year and a half ago. That was quite extensive. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And again, One Pleasant Street. I don't know if you heard, but the owner decided he didn't want to sell One Pleasant Street to the town.
Oh, really?
Oh, so that's been decided. Okay.
Right. So I was unable to attend the select board meeting the night that occurred, which was last Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
So,
Well, that's a big decision.
right. So he said he does not want to sell it to the town. So that's,
Paul, do you think that's part of why this ad hoc group is pushing forward with the petition to have the money to redo town hall?
no, the reason why the ad hoc group is doing that is because the town was pushing to buy One Pleasant Street first
Right.
floor as a condo. So now that the owner said he doesn't want to sell it to him, the town is trying to reason with that group and not have them push all this stuff on citizens petitions. They would rather get everyone together in a room and try and figure out what is the best solution for 41 Highland Street. There's kind of like 3 groups right now that they're trying to get together to figure out what's best for 41 Highland. So I don't know. We've had a town hall planning group for quite some time, and about 10 years. And so
Yeah.
they've gone through every iteration of what you could do to that building. So I don't know what they're talking about. In the meantime, the shorthand problem they have is they need fire suppression system in the old section and, fix the heating system and air conditioning system and the roof and buy new windows or something. So I don't know. They're kind of, you've got too many people with too many opinions. It's the fundamental problem though is that, the people that are there with the opinions are changing their opinions with all kinds of variations of what you can do, so it gets even worse. So,
Well, I just didn't know if they kind of pushed forward based on the fact that the guy doesn't want to sell One Pleasant.
I'm trying to get, I checked to see if we can get One Pleasant to be converted back to apartments again. I don't know that that's possible. The whole reason why he converted to condos was for the sole purpose of selling the first floor to the town. And he was under financial constraints, is what he told the planning board. So selling the 14 units and getting cash would solve that problem for him. And but then he decided not to sell to the town. So that means the first floor would probably be divided up, because right now it was designed for one owner, one tenant.
Right.
Oh,
See, so it's 8,000 square feet on that first floor.
There's hardly ever anybody over there working on it. So, I mean, I'm sure he's very cash strapped.
Yeah. So there's nothing to work on because there's no decision been made as to what to do with the first floor. Yeah. So anyway, that is
my understanding was that the owner wouldn't, and the town couldn't come to an agreement on how much it was gonna, on a price. And that's why it fell through.
yeah. I wasn't at the meeting, so I'm catching all of my stuff secondhand. So
Me too.
yeah, I don't.
Has he got sewer approval for One Pleasant?
No.
Wouldn't that depend on what goes in the ground floor? I mean, if you have multiple units, you may need to do something different
Yeah, so, the last plans we got were for the 14 condos and single tenant on the first floor. And we priced up what that would cost. And, he can't get an occupancy permit until he comes through sewer. So now the question is, what is he gonna do with the first floor, you know?
Hmm.
Somebody could own that first floor. And then they could sublet it, you know, into 3 or 4 different businesses or something, I don't know, but. Anyway, all we know is we're only gonna get four units out of there. So I think we should see where we can put our energy on 55, if he's gonna do 12, if there's any way possible we can convince him to do apartments. And, once we find out what their plans are, and if they're open to, being persuaded to apartments, there may be a way to do that with the housing trust. To see if there's a way that we can help give them some financial consideration to make that decision. So, I'd like to see how that goes. So that's the updates I have so far. Of course, the 147 South Main. He's gonna work on taking a year to get that one apartment locked in. He still hasn't paid the sewer hookup fee yet, so I'm not sure where he is. And, can't think of any other properties that we were discussing that are out there.
Paul, does the affordable house, does the trust have any properties that they're considering doing anything with, you know, like putting out available for Habitat or for anybody else? I mean,
They do, they
They
have,
own
we did, so we did transfer 2 lots.
right.
One in the Beechwood section and one down where I am off of Forest Ave. And I don't know where they stand with those. I do know that they've been focused on converting the Habitat property that is on Elm Street. Putting new kitchen in, as we discussed, trying to help them on a regular basis, move forward with some other projects.
But that's not adding any additional units. I mean, that's already an affordable unit, even if it doesn't count towards it.
Right. And
It's
those are
not
the other
adding,
things that-
it's not adding to the count, you know, in terms of really.
Yes. Yeah,
available.
they don't have any, they're asking us for projects, they're asking us to see what else is out there, what else we can move. So there's some bigger things that we can try and attempt. You know, once things settle down in the town, I think over this town hall mess, there are areas, in town where there's additional property that could be put into the trust, and then we can focus on, working with Habitat to put up a couple of 1 or 2 family dwellings somewhere. You know, now that the town is, they bought, the King Street property for the use of the police department, they no longer need the Esposito lot, which I think 3 acres are buildable out of the 7 that's there, or 5 that's, yeah.
You mean
So-
the lot that's there at the corner?
Yeah, it's on the corner of Pond Street and 3A.
Right, right.
So there's some property that is buildable there. Though a lot of people will tell
A
you
lot
don't,
of wetland there though, but
that's what everybody says, but you know, I want to get out the map and look at it and say, find out what's buildable, because
get Concom to
obviously
comment on it.
obviously felt they could put a fire department there.
Yeah, exactly. Then they
Oh.
should be able to put a house or 2 in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm
How many
saying.
acres is that, Paul?
I think the whole property was 5 acres and 3 of it was buildable. So,
Yeah, you could get a nice little cluster housing complex in something like that.
so there's other spots, you know, there's a village, there's another acre in the village, there's 5 acres, over where Mary lives, at the end of Evergreen Street.
Oh, okay.
So there's plenty of lots around that you could do a Habitat project, you know, it lends itself towards what Habitat is that's putting up, you know, a single unit with either single family or multifamily unit. You know, most other builders want to come in and put something up with, you know, 15 or 20 units. So
Yeah.
we don't have that kind of space, but certainly lends itself there. So anybody else have any comments on the general updates?
Nope.
Okay, so we'll move on to subcommittee updates. So we have Tamara on with the Habitat.
So Mary, I'll just jump in. Tamara and I have been back and forth with some updates, and let me give some preliminary information, and then I'll let her fill in the blanks when we, when we can.
Sure.
Susan got a total of 404,500 has already been raised, with an additional 179,687 needed, and that includes the 404 includes CPC money. So there's still a lot of money to be raised. So I think tomorrow probably is, wants to kick in some heightened fundraising and see what suggestions you guys have to help with that. And I don't know what other towns have done, as far as fundraisers and stuff goes. So Tamara, if you had anything to add.
Yeah, I think one thing we talked about, especially from this group, if you guys all want to get together to do I call them house parties. But if you bring, and they don't have to be people that necessarily have a lot of wealth, they just need to understand what your passion about affordable housing is. Mary talked about maybe going back to the Red Line Inn, asking them to donate their smaller space, or even the tavern. So you can just gather some people. I'm happy to do a presentation. And it's just a way to kind of jumpstart fundraising. I don't want to jump too far into the construction, but I know it's been frustrating not seeing any work done on the site, but the excavator is actually showing up tomorrow, and they'll be doing some digging and some pounding and some more digging starting this week. So again, a lot of the people I talked to even a year ago were very excited about the project, but they kind of wanted to see something happening on the property. So I am hopeful and very optimistic that once, we see stuff going on, I can return to a lot of the same people that came to the gala last year, that had some interest, that reached out to do some major gift work for myself. But again, getting the word out there is certainly an important thing to do. I think, again, it's probably a little lifting on your part to bring people that you just want to hear more about the project. And then, of course, I would do a soft ask at that time, but we could do a video and a PowerPoint presentation if that works for you guys. Mary suggested that we go back to the Rotary. Again, they wanted to see something going on. So now that something's going on, we'll go back to the Rotary. I'm thinking we'll probably do that even in the fall, once people have a real idea of kind of what's going on there. But
Tamara, when's it anticipated that it actually might be completed?
it will take 12 months to complete a Habitat house from beginning to end.
Is that from excavation?
That's from excavation on. So I am very
Like
confident
this
that
time next year. Is that what you're
this
thinking?
time next year, yes.
Okay.
Barring any other construction delays. I mean, again, will we find water under the ledge? We're not going to go down that deep. This was going to be a full basement. It's going to be a 5-foot crawl space at this point. There's been a lot of changes going on with the property, but it's a lovely home. I don't know how many of you met Erin Leahy, our future homeowner. She and her 12-year-old son are wonderful. They were at the rec fair with Were
She
you
was
gonna
with us
make
on
an
the
ex-
Christmas, she was with us on the Christmas
She was
stroll.
on the Christmas stroll, exactly. And we are, again, opening up, I don't know, I think we're still looking at, some of the other families that qualified to be a homeowner, because we only have that one unit filled at this point. The family that was selected actually dropped out for a variety of reasons. So we're going back to other families that qualified, and if we have to, we'll reopen the application process for the other unit.
Terrific.
I'm
So I
thinking
think-
that we might want to hit Rotary sooner because we can, you know, if we did it this, you know, later on in the spring, I know you're tied up with the gala, but,
I'm happy to do it anytime, Mary. If you want to reach out, I'm happy any evening to talk to
Thinking-
the Rotary again. They were a lovely group.
oh, yeah,
This-
and
This time I know not to eat ahead of time.
they might be better for in-kind stuff right now. You know, if we get some crafts people in there too, so I
Yeah,
don't,
so that's the other thing I wanted to mention about the 179,000 we have yet to raise. Typically, close to $100,000 is raised through in-kind donations. And we'll have a better sense of where we are with those in the next several months. Any organizations that you know of, the best thing to do is to talk to me to see if we have a prior relationship. I know someone, I don't know if it was you, Susan, who reached out to Blue or wanted to reach out to Blue.
No, I just asked about that because we had used them
Okay.
for our condo, but I have not touched. I have
Yeah,
not
yeah,
reached-
I mean, they've been very generous with us in the past. But again, having someone in town who has used them before, it lends more weight than you think when they're making their philanthropic decisions. It's not the director of development or the executive director going out there or the construction manager, it's someone in the community who says, I really care about this. You know, can I please introduce you to whoever would make the formal ask?
All right.
What
No, the only
about-
one that, go ahead, Mary.
what about the, you had talked before about Home Depot and Lowe's. I didn't know if the more local vendors like Obashan and Hingham Lumber were people who you usually contact, that you have a relationship with.
I've been trying to contact Hingham Lumber, since, I started for the Cohasset property. I have not had any success. If anybody knows, the McNulty's more than some other people who, I mean, our, board member Terry Green reached out. Our board member Mark Everett reached out.
Okay.
They were looking for a very concrete proposal. We went to them with all the windows and doors, have not heard anything. Sherry Green, our construction manager, has walked in and hasn't been greeted with enthusiasm. So right now, Cape Cod Lumber is doing our lumber package. They always give us a nice discount off of that. Windows and doors are something that I'll look for another in-kind donation somewhere else. So if anyone knows anybody, I mean, I'm going to my former in-law's cousin at JB Sash and Door. You know, you never know, but I mean, they're not local, they're in Chelsea, so I can go there because I'm a relative as opposed to like, going to Boston's territory. But who knows, I'm divorced from my ex-husband, so they may not care to talk to me. I have no idea, but I am going to approach them anyway.
What about Hingham Lumber for, I mean, I know you're not getting anywhere with them for anything, it seems like, but I'm just thinking like for just, if they just were willing to do one bathroom, the cabinets.
Yes,
and
we would love to talk to them about that. Absolutely.
So what are you asking for exactly from them when you go there? Are you asking for 20% discount off of purchasing materials from them, or are you asking for free materials? I mean,
Yeah, it really depends. I just wanted to get in front of them and start the conversation. And we haven't even gotten that far yet.
yeah, whatever they're willing to
Yeah,
do,
the
right?
marketing manager asked for something very concrete. And knowing that we did our lumber package with Cape Cod Lumber, we went to them for windows and doors. We could do trim. and we were met with, like I said, crickets at this point, so. I'll continue to look, at other places. There's certainly no shortage of building supply companies. It just made a lot of sense that they're in Cohasset. That we
So
would
even if
work
they
with
said they
them.
would do something like that at cost, as opposed to saying, we'll donate it to you,
Yeah,
100%.
yes, we're open to, we're open to anything,
That's
yeah,
better than have to pay regular standard price.
exactly.
Okay.
You
Okay,
know,
so let's,
and any discount, just so you guys know, is tax deductible to the company. We treat them very well as donors. You'll start seeing, thank yous to our sponsors, thank yous to our, volunteers on social media. It does get pretty active, in terms of what people see about the company when they're involved with us.
I know another nonprofit in the area that has had crickets from Hingham Lumber before. So, I think maybe they just don't get philanthropic. We've had luck with, my husband's with the VFW, and they've been great about, Aubuchon Hardware, up on 3A.
Okay,
They helped us with a cookout. I don't know what kind of, what kind of materials and stock they have beyond regular hardware stuff, but,
I mean, nails cost money too, so. But I'm happy to go over there and talk to them about, they're close to the site, if a site supervisor is running out of something that just needs to go over there. It would be great to have them on hand to do that. So I will reach out to Aubuchon on 3A. Thank you.
Because if you think about it, even if they say, we'll just give it to you at our cost, they're losing from not having a profit, but they're not
They're not
losing
losing anything.
of having to put out I can understand if companies will say, gee, things are tight, we can't really just donate that to you, but we can give it to you at our
Right.
cost.
And you'd be
That's-
surprised how many companies like Aubuchon will introduce us to their suppliers, who will then in turn donate to us. So we've had a lot of luck with when we worked in Easton at our Westwood property. Lansing is a building supply company. They just opened their Rolodex to us. This was like 6 or 7 years ago for their suppliers. So we're gonna start looking at those again too.
Well, I think I had already indicated to Noreen, which she probably shared with you, that I have approached Kennedy Country Gardens for some
Yes,
land.
for the landscaping.
They're willing to do things at cost and help with some installation. And I have done a presentation to the board of our garden club, and it has to go before the whole club
Yeah,
for a meeting,
sure.
which is next Tuesday, the 23rd,
Okay.
for the committee, the whole club to vote to approve it. But I had asked for $2,000 from the club
Oh,
to
thank
go
you so much.
landscaping. And so far, the board seems to have agreed. And they've kind of tentatively put it in the budget for this next year, which starts July 1st, but it has to be voted on. And so I haven't really put anything out to you or to anybody else yet,
No,
because
I
it
mean,
hasn't been
we've talked about
voted
this
on
for a
yet.
long time, but yeah, I knew that there's a formal process. And
Yeah.
like I said, we'll be ready for like planting season when we're ready to do the house. Because once the external piece is done, there's a lot of work inside, obviously too. So, by next spring, it might be nice to have you guys, I'm
Yeah.
not
Right.
very I don't have the greenest of thumbs, but I know with our Hingham project, we had to wait till a certain time to, do the seeding and, how long it takes for plants to acclimate into the, I would say, rocky soil and things like that. But we really very much appreciate your efforts to make the outside of the house look very pretty.
Okay,
Well, that way when neighbors and people drive by, they're not looking at it as a, oh, there's that ugly habitat. They don't put anything on the outside. So
Right,
just wanted
no,
to look good
yeah,
and then
it'll look beautiful, thank you.
we'll see.
So I just want to move along. I don't want to, the next, our first, do have good news. Our first volunteer group is scheduled for Thursday, May 26th. And
May,
so,
I'm sorry, that's May 16th. If I put the 26th, I
Oh, okay.
apologize.
What is May 26th?
Oh,
May
I did put,
16th, volunteer.
I think it's May 16th, but. Oh,
Middle of. So, and we also, we had the table at the rec fair, which I ended up, not being able to do, but we did have our, family partner there, and we did, get, we got about over 20 volunteers who signed up, which I think is wonderful. And then we're gonna have a table at town meeting, and I know, Beth, did you do that last year?
Yeah,
I think I'm available for that too. I don't know what happened last year, but, anyway, so I think Beth and I can probably switch off on that. And it's only for about an hour when people get
Okay,
there.
and when is town meeting?
I don't know, in the beginning of June, so I'll get the date to you.
Yeah,
It's June 3rd.
I'll make sure you guys have materials, and of course, if I can be there, I'll join you as well.
June 3rd. It's a Monday night.
June 3rd. Right.
And then Mark talked about maybe not doing farmer's market, but I was thinking if we did it for the first month or two, while things are getting busy, and then, obviously after that, work will be underway. We won't need to do so much publicity, but what do you think, Tamar?
I think it's wonderful. We have some internal stuff going on here at the office. Melissa Boynton, our volunteer coordinator, has just accepted another position. So I'm just concerned about spreading myself very thin without having a staff person to help manage that.
Okay,
But
I understand. We'll talk.
we
Yeah.
can certainly talk about it. I'm happy to make sure materials are there. I'm happy to give you guys the tent back to take back and forth, but we spent a lot of time, 3 hours probably,
Yeah.
Besides the time we were there prepping every week and things like that. I'd like to see what activities happening once we see, stuff going on at the site. And see how we could welcome people maybe there, besides, but I mean, I enjoyed it so much. I mean, I bought too much fresh fruit and stuff like that while I was there. But I think it's a wonderful way to connect with the community.
I think you're right. I think the appearance at the farmer's market, maybe we should tie it towards something significantly happening on the property, because we're there to ask people to either help us paint or help us plant or help us do something or donate money to us. So we've gotten through the whole awareness phase of this campaign, so everyone's aware of it. I think now is that we're at the point where we should be asking for something specific and have a timeline for them to say, okay, hey, come June or July, we're going to need help with X, Y, or Z, or we need to raise $20,000 by June 30th or something, can you help us?
And that's why I think the house party idea for you to bring people that, make it like an immediate urgency piece and just say, this is what we're doing. Won't you help us? And then we could have people sign up for build days right there, so they're giving their money and they're giving their time. And I think people would feel really good about leaving an event like that.
Right. Okay, we're gonna do some publicity. I won't go through everything, but we're gonna do town manager post, Habitat's Facebook post, town manager weekly update. So, tomorrow and I are gonna work on that. Let's see. So the bill days, what did we say? Tamar has, let's see, Thursdays, Fridays, first 3 Saturdays, and fourth and fifth Tuesdays are the booking group days for booking groups. If we had, so we have 12 groups already set up in process to commit to coming and having a group, a group day. So if anybody is part of an organization that we can get in touch with and see if they want to have a team, then that would be great. I don't know if anybody's doing anything with the school. If they usually have, I don't know what's happened in other towns. I don't know what Hingham might have had or other places, that we can kind of not reinvent the wheel, but use their experience. Tamar, do you have any feedback on that?
I think, again, since we have not been building for so long and there's been such a delay, we do have a lot of groups interested. The corporate groups, they make a donation of $2,500 to participate in a great team building event. Organizations typically donate $500 to an event
Okay.
as a bill day. And then if you're an individual, there is no charge to participate. And we have links set up for individuals to sign up at this point. And each company or organization gets their own bill day kind of site for people to sign up. And those are on our website now. A note on our website, which is currently terrible and has been, we are in the process of designing a brand new website that we hope to launch in June, early July, in terms, with our new fiscal year is what I should say, by July 1st. We hope to have it up and running to make this part much easier. But for now, it seems to be working okay. It's just a little bit convoluted.
Is it suggested to have people contact you on Facebook, as well, or in addition?
I am not I am responsible for posting on Facebook. And if people comment, I tend to respond. But the best way for people to contact me is just to call me. My cell phone is on almost everything I put out there. I'm not afraid to talk to people or have people interrupt me, I'll either have it go to voicemail, but yeah, with Melissa Boynton's departure, I'm pretty much besides Beth, the face of the volunteer and community relations effort at this point.
Is anybody here a member at St. Anthony's? Would you all be willing to approach their, I don't know, whatever committee, mission, outreach, whatever? Because I was thinking I can do that with the church that we belong to at Hingham Congregational Church.
To do what?
To do a bill day.
So they already said that they are interested in doing that. In fact, Father Scott had participated with Habitat for Humanity up in the North Shore when he was assigned up in Amesbury and Salisbury. They did they call it the Pastor's Day or something like that. So they've already done that. We have no information for them. Again, like I said, we don't know when.
Well, you can't pick a date yet because
we don't know. So
I mean,
Yeah, so I'd
willing
say
to do it.
reach out to me and we could schedule you guys a date right now for the future. It's not like we sign a date and you guys sign up. If you have an organization and you want a date, I will let you know what's available.
Like next fall or something like that, if they want to do whatever.
So what is it you're looking for? Are you looking for people to come in and paint or sand
well,
floors?
it really depends
What would this
on the day.
organization, what would they do? That's a question I have.
Yeah, so it really depends on the day. Right now, the first thing people are gonna do once the foundation is poured is start building the walls, and then we're gonna raise the walls and, it really, it's going to be different every single time. We cannot tell volunteers what to do, except they need no experience. They'll be trained to do an 8-hour day. they'll get breaks, they'll get, they will find a place for the group to buy lunch. And, they'll leave feeling great about what they're doing.
So do you
So
have a
can
list?
I
do you
can't,
have a
if someone
list
wants
of,
to paint, I
I-
can't tell you when that's going to be.
Yeah,
at
so
all.
I get the timeline thing. So I'm just asking you, there's got to be a standard list that you have that says, you know what? We have volunteers that lift walls. That's one event. We have volunteers that help install windows. That's another event. We have
Well,
volunteers that
well,
do.
honestly, it's just by day. We are building Thursdays, Fridays, the first 3 Saturdays, and the 4th and 5th Tuesdays. Whatever needs to be done on that day is going to get done by volunteers.
Right,
We-
but how do you know if people are going to show up or if
Well,
you
they have to sign up and commit. I mean,
Or
it's
you-
not like
or
we
you
just
have-
say come, they have to sign up, they have to watch a safety video, they have to sign a waiver. I mean, it's a process to become a volunteer,
don't-
but
if
it
a
takes 20
volunteer-
minutes.
if a volunteer wants to do something more selective, how do they do that?
That would be individual, probably.
I mean,
On
how
a
do they
bill,
sign?
on a bill day, we will not say
Yeah,
what task is happening on a certain day. It's just
Right,
not how it works.
right. But
But
I'm
if you're,
asking,
if you're a skilled laborer that we have
Yeah.
to hire, obviously, we're gonna say, when you come, when you can come in these areas. I mean, and we build volunteer days around other stuff that has to get done.
right, so if we have a group that wants to come in, pick a Saturday, June 15th, and they just show up on site and you say, oh, by the way, we're painting today. Is that how it works?
That's it, that's exactly how it works.
Okay,
But
It's a
again,
group that wants to do painting.
so
can't
they,
show up.
they say they want to volunteer
Yep.
as a group. We
Yep.
send out the group leader, right, here's your information, here's a flyer to recruit your volunteers. Here's a website where people can sign up. We get their emergency contact information. They watch a safety video, they sign the waiver. A couple days before the event or a week before the build day, they get another message from us saying, here's some information about parking. This is what to expect during the day. I mean, a week ahead, we may know exactly what they're doing, but, we can't. It's too complicated. Construction is too uncertain to be able to say that weeks in
yeah,
advance.
you're not gonna hold off on painting because all the painters are gonna show up in 2 weeks.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
get, I
Gotta
get,
do what's needed. I mean,
You
I,
have to do what's needed.
our
And
daughter,
again, people are not, I mean, even the days that we pick up like wood and trash and scraps, people love it. I mean, if you haven't met Sherry yet, and I think most of you have, she's gonna make the day as wonderful if you're picking up trash or planting flowers or raising walls. It's gonna be a great experience.
they're there to just help do what needs to
Help
be
do
done
the
that
work,
day.
exactly.
I know when our daughter and a group of other girls, friends of hers, senior year of high school, I found this habitat build for them out in San Antonio. And they didn't know what was going to be going on with that house before they signed up.
You
They
just
just got
go.
there. They did what they were told to do that day, depending on how far along the project was.
yeah, so I
And
guess we'll just find out from tomorrow then on a timeline, of when,
Yeah,
once
if
they,
you want,
once
if
they
you
start
want,
to,
if you want to sign up St. Anthony's for a build day.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me I'm out the rest of the week, but call me on Monday. I'll give you a few dates and you can go to the congregation and say, these are some dates that are available. Once they make a decision, we'll lock you in and we'll help you set a sign up. We'll set up a page for you guys to sign up.
And
Okay,
that's
they,
a $500 commitment. Is
yeah,
that
so
correct?
so I guess the question we would have then for you is, when are you doing some of these significant, I know they're excavating and then it's gonna be, I don't know, a month or two before they pour a foundation and then you could say, oh, we think in June we'll start framing it.
So we have scheduled our first volunteer day on May 16th, a month from today.
Okay.
We had all of April scheduled and we just had to reschedule everyone based on the excavator's schedule. We're trying not to do that again.
Okay,
I'd say by June and July, whatever we're doing, there's gonna be work to be done. So, but it's also really hot in the summer, so does everyone wanna, is that how you wanna spend the summer? A Saturday in the summer? I don't know, but we'll schedule in September. There's going to be work to be done.
okay. I'll talk to, the youth coordinator, because they're looking to do something local.
Right, did you say the youth coordinator?
Yeah.
So I do also want to caution you that you have to be 16 years old.
Yep.
To volunteer on a site, and I'll also say you have to be at least 18 years old to use power tools.
Right.
And again, if there's a
Yeah.
16-year-old site and other people are using power tools, I will tell you that Sherry is going to make sure that the one who cannot use power tools is doing a very important job, and he'll leave or she'll leave just as happy not using a power tool.
Right, yeah.
And
Okay,
sometimes
so
family-
I'll talk to them. I'll talk to them about that, because they're
Okay.
trying to get some of this. They're focused on trying to get this younger adults, if you will,
Absolutely.
engaged, right? And this is a good tool to
This
be
is
able.
a great way to do it. And again, we are gonna start actively looking for another volunteer coordinator, maybe community relations manager. I have to play with the job description a little bit. But we are hoping to go out to more congregations, more faith-based groups to make sure that the whole community is involved. You mentioned schools. We haven't done anything quite yet with the Cohasset schools, but it is in the works.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Phil
Cohasset schools have
Phil Mahoney said that he could line up all of the, sports teams for you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Phil Mahoney,
Yep.
I think I told you, I've already talked to the police and fire chief, and they're both interested,
great.
trying to have a bill day for each of
Now,
their.
now should I reach out to them, or do you want to have them call me? Like, I want to be respectful.
No, you can reach out to them. I mean, I
Okay.
had
And
I
say
had-
that say that you've talked to them?
said that they may not remember my name, but that I have talked to both of them and discussed, the
Okay.
idea of being able to participate and have, I don't know how it works as far as whether the fire department can do a $500 contribution to do it, to have a bill day. I mean, it's town fund.
I
so I don't
mean, we're flexible with, organizations like that.
Yeah. But I mean, I still think it'd be awesome if a group of firefighters were over there or whoever it is,
I completely
engaged,
agree.
so supportive of the concept in the community.
I absolutely. It's great social media too, and we look great in our newsletter.
We also talked about the Interfaith Council, and it sounds like that's a group that would have all the churches, and it would be like a one-stop shopping. So I know I talked to Susan about reaching out to churches. Susan, do you want to try that avenue, or do you want me to?
Well, I think personally, when there's a personal connection, somebody that goes to that church, like if Paul's talking about approaching somebody at St. Anthony's directly, I think that, has more appeal. It goes farther than just
I agree.
somebody random
don't-
that they don't know. I will plan to approach our church, which is Hingham Congregational
Yeah.
Church, but I can certainly reach out to, St. Stephen's has already been involved. They did the gingerbread house. So
Right.
I don't know how much more, whether they're going to still have a bill day or not. That's, but you've already got the connection going there. So I don't think I need to reach out to them. So really the main other one that comes to mind is Second Congo, that I'd be happy to reach out to them as well. So
And
I just think, having a person who's involved with it, will go farther. Than
I
just-
think, Susan, you're absolutely right. And I will also say that Melissa Boynton did reach out to a group of pastors. I'm not sure if it was I don't think it was the Interfaith Council, but it was certainly a group of
oh, good.
Catholic churches anyway. It was a pastor group of some kind that she did a presentation to. And before she leaves, she's going to give me an update on all the outreach she has done.
Yeah, I had already
Yeah.
talked to her about that a few weeks back, and she told
Mhm.
me that she'd reached out to them, but it sounded like she'd reached, yeah. I guess I didn't understand about the connection between a $500 contribution plus the signing up of people to do a bill day. So I think when she was talking to them about the, having people from the congregations participate, I don't know if that was intended to be as a group bill day with the $500 donation attached, or whether it was just different individuals within the
Yeah, like I
church.
said, we're very flexible. I mean, it is a wonderful way to fundraise for, to pay for the actual building of the house, but if it's a church group and, it's not really part of their mission-driven work that they vote to donate the $500 to,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how many people have a great experience and then, no, the money comes through, like they donate, on their way out, or they'll contact us after we send them a thank you. But when we do send a thank you, we often include, if you enjoyed your experience and want to make even more of a difference, it takes time, talent, and treasure, so we do.
I know
ask
our church
people.
already contributes to Habitat, but I don't know beyond that.
Mhm. Well, I'm happy to answer any other questions you guys have. I do have a 6 o'clock meeting that I do need to get to, but, are there any other quick questions that you have? Otherwise, you can
No, I
reach
think
out to me on Monday.
Quick, we talked about a trip to the site. I think at this point with, with less going on, maybe we'll put that off for another month or so. And you put the posters up on Main Street. Thank you very much. And thank you for coming tomorrow. It was very helpful. And I think we made progress.
Yeah, like I said, I'm happy to come to the meeting in May as well, just when you decide when that, you said, I think you said we started on the 21st,
21st. Yeah.
but so I have
Yep.
that down.
Great.
Yeah, like it's my intention to give you all, I mean, I appreciate everything you guys are doing and I want to make it easy. If you guys do want to move forward with, the party of your friends and family, happy to talk to you. If Mary wants to take the lead on that, you could
Okay.
just let me know. I could certainly give some guidance.
I'm thinking at this point, before the summer, so, maybe early June is a target date. So let me start looking at what else we can do, and I'll talk to Tamar about that.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Great.
My Waze is telling me I have to get going.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you
Take
care,
guys so
thanks.
much. Bye-bye.
By the way, there's a diversity committee in town. It's not an official town committee, I don't believe. I think it's just a group of people that get together. And they have a number of events during the year. There was one, I think, this Sunday morning. But there are emails, so it's somebody we can contact to say maybe they could do something on the fundraising side. And kind of pull them together on an event.
I know David Bigley is from St. Steve, I believe, from St. Stephen's, and
Yeah,
he
he's
had,
at St. Stephen's.
huh? I can't hear.
No, she's on mute. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But he had worked for Habitat up on the North Shore or something. So I know, I'm happy. He plays bocce with Rich, so I can contact him about seeing if we can get, say another initiative from St. Stephen's.
Okay, awesome.
I don't
Yeah.
know anybody, I don't know. I don't have a resource for Unitarian or Second Congo, but we can brainstorm about that maybe.
Okay.
I think
Oh,
I
and the
know.
Peter too.
Yeah. Well, I can do Second Congo, and I have a friend who I can talk to, I think, who's a member at First Parish, and she's
Okay.
very supportive of Habitat. So I think that she can approach First Parish maybe. I don't know anybody, over at the Greek church per se. So as I said, I think it helps if it's somebody that's more, local and known.
Yeah. Great.
Okay,
Mary,
I'm on
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
on I'm on the parish council of St. Anthony's, and we meet once a month over there, but I see him every Sunday anyway, so I can always talk to him. So,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's
What,
great.
what were the build days that she was saying? It was like Thursdays,
Yeah,
Fridays?
let me go back to my list here, because I had it wrong before.
I think she said Thursdays, Fridays, and the first 3 Saturdays or something like that.
And then something about Tuesdays.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't catch Tuesday, sorry.
Thursdays and Fridays,
Thursdays.
first 3 Saturdays, and fourth and fifth Tuesdays.
Oh, fourth,
Oh, that's the one I missed. Yeah.
fourth and fifth Tuesday.
Yep.
This is for May.
there's got to be a
Well,
method.
I think that's their normal schedule.
Yeah, that's any month, I
Every
think.
So that, I believe, is my committee report.
All right.
Yeah, Mary, if you find out who they reached out to on the Catholic side, let me know.
Okay,
So
I
let
have
me
no-
write it down again. It was Thursdays and Fridays, first 3 Saturdays, and what was the Tuesday?
wait a minute, I gotta look at my list.
4th
I
and
don't-
5th Tuesday, is that what it was?
Thursdays, Friday, listen, Thursdays, Fridays, first 3 Saturdays,
Yep.
and fourth and fifth Tuesdays.
4th and 5th, okay.
Great. So I'll check back with tomorrow to see who they if they approached anybody at the Catholic Church at St. Anthony's, because I have no idea. I've stayed out of that piece.
Yeah, even if they even if it wasn't directly St. Anthony's, whoever the group was, let me know.
Yep,
I
pastors.
I do
Okay.
some stuff with the archdiocese as well, so.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so Cassandra. We
Yes.
cannot make the 14th of May, but we can make the 21st of May. Is that okay?
So staff is unavailable the 21st.
Okay.
Do we have to have 4? Is that what you were saying?
No, I'm not here. I'm on vacation.
No, what Paul was saying earlier, we have
For
to
a
have
quorum.
4 members for a quorum?
You need 3.
Oh, 3. Oh, then we can have it on the 14th then.
Okay, all
Did
right.
it-
Well, I
We
won't be
only
there.
need 3, even
Okay.
with a 7-member board, but a quorum's only 3.
It's for however seats you have filled. It doesn't count the empty seats.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And where does
So-
it stand for changing
So
it
it
from
only,
7
well,
to 5?
run that by me again. It only counts what now?
For the seats that you have filled. It doesn't count the empty seats for your quorum because you wouldn't have
4.
somebody show
There's
up.
only 4
Oh,
that
I
are
see.
filled.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Makes sense.
Have we done the letter yet, Paul, that asks it for the town to select board to reduce it from 7 to 5?
Yeah, so I'm working on that part of it right now, because the select board is going to be, they don't know it yet, or maybe 1 or 2 of them might know, but there's usually a marathon the last 2 weeks of June where they have to reappoint everyone to boards. They did a waiver, I think last year, I forget what it was, to extend people. Yeah, because I just got notice for Elder Affairs. And so once we put it together, then it'll go in front of the select board has to appoint everybody. So I
So
want to
that
get
won't
this,
June, right?
yes, yeah, so what I want to do is get the letter in front of them to say, hey, vote on this. And then we can do our appointments, but we can't do our appointments unless you vote on this, so that's kind of the thing we need to do, so. So that's kind of where we are with the select board letter. I should have it out to them by early next week. All right, so Cassandra, I mentioned early on about some general updates to the affordable housing. And so we understand that there are new owners of 55 South Main Street, the gas station. And I don't know if they've come in front of planning yet or not.
They have not.
They
This
have
is the
not.
first I'm hearing of it.
Okay. Yeah, they brought it up in the sewer board meeting, about that being 12 apartments, so I'm not sure, what the status is yet, so,
If they're sticking with the original permit, they wouldn't need to come before planning again.
right, unless they change, right? So what I believe we last heard was that it was gonna be 12 condos, and planning board approved them to put the units off-site.
Correct.
Okay. So we're kind of hoping to see if they appear somewhere. We're interested in speaking with them to see if we can persuade them to change their mind about doing the offsite. And I don't know if the financial model works for them for apartments. We'd obviously prefer that, but we're hoping to find out who they are and when they are going to make some decisions. And then we can get the trust involved to see if they would be interested in any sort of financial contribution to helping them make the decision.
Understood. Yeah. Like I said, this is just the first that I'm hearing of any new owners. So obviously they haven't approached our department as yet.
Okay.
I thought the new zoning was going to eliminate the off-site option. Is that still under consideration?
No.
No, that hasn't been in discussions.
So when we met with Tom Callahan specifically about this 3A corridor, about the dense housing, you know, we obviously want to have everything on site. We wanted to see about eliminating that, but he said no, he'd like to keep it as a last option. I don't know how that occurs.
Everybody's using it as a first option, though.
Yeah, so I know. It
So-
doesn't say last option or all else fails, then you can. It doesn't say that in the bylaws. So yeah, so it's still on the bylaws, but we're just,
Okay.
yeah, we see what happens, I guess.
Did he have a reason?
No,
Did Tom have a reason? Okay.
nothing. So those are some of the issues that are still out there. I mean, I don't know what's on the warrant for the planning board. Is it going to be just the portion of the dense housing, Cassandra, zone?
For the planning board hearing?
Yeah, that was going to be on the warrant meeting vote. Yeah.
Yeah, so at this point, they've gone through all of the proposed articles except for the last two, one of which has to do with floor area ratio, and the other one has to do with large home review. All of the other ones were approved to go to town meeting as originally proposed.
So the FAR is not final, it's not approved yet?
No, they are set to vote on that at the 22nd.
Yeah, it's gonna drop considerably, from what I understand. Is that correct?
There are a lot of discussions on the impacts that it would be if it were to move forward. I know that there are certain people that feel really strongly that it should not move forward.
On planning board?
Yes, and in the general public.
But it's ultimately the planning board that decides what the proposal is gonna be, and then it
Correct,
goes.
that it would
right
move towards,
to the town.
well, technically chain of events would that be that they kick it to select board and then select board has the
Right.
final approval. But it's likely that if the planning board approves it, that the select board will as well.
Yeah, it's currently 25%. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it was being proposed to go to like 18% or something?
I'm not sure on the exact number off the top of my head, but that sounds right.
Sorry, I was otherwise occupied. What was the topic?
Floor area ratio that the planning board has been discussing as to whether or not they would reduce it from the current 25% to somewhere in the neighborhood of 18%.
Floor area ratio, is that what you said?
In other words, the size of the footprint of the house on the size of the lot.
Oh.
So you can only build a house that takes up 18% of the lot, or 25%, or whatever the number is that would be decided on.
Okay.
Is that represented accurately, Cassandra?
Yes.
Yeah, it's either more grass or less.
I have been surprised, like that house on North Main Street that was rehabbed
Oh,
along the back.
Enormous.
So when you come straight up Jerusalem, it's like right in front of you, and all of a sudden they put a giant garage, you know, in addition. They're right on the lot line. I'm like, how did they get permission to do that? It's the craziest thing I've seen. That's like 95% of the lot, you know? But that's where you kind of, it doesn't seem like all the rules get enforced evenly or something, you know?
Yeah, well, if you want to have a good laugh, go to the harbor.
Oh,
And so the new condos that are there, forget the ones that are on the water. If you go across the street, the same side as the Legion, the new condos that are there on the right-hand side, the overhang or the shingling or whatever, like shadows onto the house next door.
that when that house was for sale, the people looking at it were like, oh my gosh, we don't know what's going to happen right next door, you know? That's why I think it took a while to sell, because sure enough, I mean, that has a huge impact on it. It was a nice house, you know, with some nice sunlight, and I think their sunlight's going to be gone. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Well, the new construction must meet the planning board's regulations, or else they
It
wouldn't.
does. So the foundation is within, you know, the roof sticks out, the deck sticks out. You know what I mean? You see it. Yeah, it's
The general consensus of everyone I talked to was like, holy moly, that whole thing wasn't what we were picturing or signed up for.
yeah.
I think we made a giant blunder letting that go through.
So Cassandra, what kind of requirements are there? You know, there's a setback, obviously front and back and side yard setbacks that are really for where the structure, the foundation, the building itself is. But is there a setback that addresses like a deck or the roof angle or anything like that?
The roof angle would be considered with like part of the structure. In terms of other
What about-
structures, there's like a separate line item on the area of regulations for like other structures that are
So
not
for
the primary structure.
Well, the deck itself, if there's a deck like on a second floor, for instance, if there's a balcony or something that sticks out, does that have to meet the same setback?
Yes, because it would be part of the primary structure.
Okay, so then Beth, it must be meeting the setbacks.
Yeah.
So then the issue is what the setbacks are.
Or they got approval.
And they got a variance.
Yeah, something, yeah. It's definitely unique. Well, like I said, about the only thing you can do with it is grow tomatoes under there. So, but yeah, I'll be I'm kind of anxious for the whole thing to be completed, you know, just to harbor done, you know, just see what it's gonna look like, you know. It's just been under construction for quite some time, and
It's looking really good as far as the finishes that are used on the exterior. I think it's really handsome.
yeah. Yeah, I want to be able to walk around the harbor, and they're supposed to have that park out there, and you know, it should look nice based on the artist renditions we've seen for the last 4 years.
Yeah, they have to do a concrete sidewalk. Why was that, Cassandra? Do you know? Because we don't have any concrete sidewalks all the sidewalks in downtown, they're all asphalt.
I'm not sure what the original reasoning was, as I wasn't a part of that permitting process. But it could have had to do with something with stormwater or something like that.
Is there a difference between asphalt and concrete for stormwater?
The concrete would be more absorbent for water versus asphalt.
Oh, okay. That's good then.
And more aesthetically appealing.
Yeah, but we don't do it in the downtown. You know, all we have is asphalt that's,
Yeah, and every time a tree ages, its roots push the asphalt up, so now you've
I
got,
know, I
got a
know,
lumpy sidewalk, right?
exactly. I mean, if we're gonna hold them to a certain standard, I would think the town should have to do
Yeah.
the same.
I hear you.
Ha.
Well, does anybody else, anything else?
Nope.
And, can we approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Looks good. Thank you, Beth,
Thank
again.
you, Beth.
Awesome. All approved. So, aye. Okay, and then our next meeting will be the 14th.
If I have anything to contribute before, I will send it in to you, but I'm not sure if I will for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully you have a great trip.
Yeah.
Going to
Wait,
San
did you say
Francisco. to
California?
visit-
California?
Yeah, we're going out to San Francisco to visit our daughter and son-in-law, and we haven't been out there since they got married in September of 22. So it's
Wow.
over a year and a half. We were supposed to go for Easter, but my back was not
Ready yet?
well enough to be able to go.
Yeah.
So we canceled that and postponed it to Mother's Day. So
Be good.
Well, enjoy.
I hope it goes well.
yeah, thanks.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good. I mean, I'm doing PT and it seems to be helping, but it's just a slow recovery. Michael and I tried to do a walk at Whitney Spur Trail on Sunday, and I was just so limping by the time we came back, and we didn't even go that far, really. I think we walked a half mile in and turned around and came back, and I wanted to go farther, but I knew I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So just not there yet, but patience.
Yes.
Good.
All right, well, listen, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All righty.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks,
folks,
Paul.
see ya. Hey, take
Bye,
care now.
everybody.